Hi, my name is Saurabh, and in this video, we are going to talk about how to close a non-conformity. So let us go into a presentation where I share the presentation with you, and let us speak more about what is a non-conformity, how we can close this non-conformity. Let me show you. So it's there in front of your screen. Today's topic is how to close a non-conformity. Let us go into the slide. Okay, there are two different types of non-conformities which are defined in ISO 9001:2015 standard. The first type of non-conformity is product or service non-conformity, and the second type of non-conformity is audit related non-conformity. In this video, we are elaborating more upon product and service non-conformity, and in the subsequent video, you will be able to understand more about what is an audit non-conformity and how we can close it. So let's move further. What exactly is a non-conformity? Non-conformity is something which is not conforming to the set standards. So if you have something which is set standard, and if the product or a service which is rendered or manufactured which is not as per the requirement, then it is a non-conformity, right? So the definition is any non-conformity which is identified while doing a random audit or verification of product or services is termed as a product or service non-conformity. And this is under clause number 8.7 of the standard ISO 9001:2015, right? So let us go further and see what is a product and service non-conformity and how to close the non-conformity. Now let's take a scenario where you are a manufacturing unit and you are manufacturing some kind of box for your client, right? So the dimensions given of the box from the client which you have received as an order is it should have a 12 inches of length, 24 inches of height, and 6 inches of breadth. Okay, so all the specifications are given in terms of sizes. Okay, we are taking only one parameter to just understand. It could be thickness of the product also. It could be different types of parameters can be there to the product, so which you need to understand, and then apply what is a conforming product or service. Okay, so after a production, uh, after the production of a certain unit, that is 100 units of uh, these dimension boxes, when your quality departments identifies that 30 units out of the 100 units are manufactured with a defect, and that defect is the height and the breadth are adequate, they are as per the client requirements, but the length should have been 12 inches, but now the manufactured product is measured as only 11.6 inches. That is, there is a defect of zero point 0.4 inches, and that defect is identified for 30 units out of the 100 units which are manufactured. If this is a scenario, then it is definitely termed as it is a product non-conformity because it is not manufactured as per the requirement of the client. So in this case, what to do? So let us go ahead. How to close a non-conformity, which is a product non-conformity. And we will, in the second example, we will also talk about how to close a service non-conformity. Okay. The first action which you can take on a non-conforming product is, can that be corrected? So it is like reworking, redoing on the product, right? So if the length which was supposed to be 12 inches, if it is 11.4 inches, can we increase the length to 12 inches and the box can comply to the client requirements? If this is the action which we can take, this is termed as a correction of a product non-conformity. If it is not possible, because in some cases the product is such that we cannot increase the length, we can decrease the length to some extent if at all it is 12.2 or 12.3, but we cannot reduce, we cannot increase the product length. So if that is the situation, then you have to first segregate those kind of products. We have already done it. Out of 100 units, we have identified that 30 units are not as per the requirement, which is a segregation, which we have already done it. So these segregated 30 units should be kept under containment. Now, what is containment? Containment is something where, in the production area or in the stores area, there is one area which is dedicated to non-conforming products, where all non-conforming products at some moment or the other or some stage of the other, if they are non-conforming, are stationed or they are kept there, right? uh, it may happen that the area is a dedicated area only for non-conforming products. So anything which is kept under that area will not be used anywhere else. If the manufacturing unit has lot of space, this is possible. But in many cases, the manufacturing place is less, and they may not have a dedicated store and a dedicated place for keeping non-conforming products. In that case, what we can do is you find out a place which is completely detached from all the other products, which is stack. So you have to stack those products in such a way that it is visible to everyone, but away from the good products, which is a no non-conforming product, right? So stack it in a specific way and then label it. So you have to create a kind of a paper on which something is written that this is non-conforming product. Don't use this product, and that keep that label on that stack, where you have to also see that that paper is not blown away by the wind, which is a major thing, which is an important thing. So the label should be such that it is attached to the product where it is kept, right? So this is called as containment of the product. The second is, if at all the product is supplied by the supplier, then we may return the product to him. So you have to return the product, right? Otherwise, we have to suspend the provision of the product, or suspension of the provision of product. That is, we have to just discard the product, nothing can be done, right? So in all the four cases, point B can be done in this way. If at all point C is there, or rather if at all A and B points are identified and we have contained it, point C can be actioned. That is, first of all, inform the customer with the batch details, the date of manufacturing, the number of non-conforming units out of the total number of units manufactured, and all these details should go to the customer, because you are existing because your customer's requirement. You as an organization is producing whatever your customer is telling you to manufacture, right? So, and if something is not as per their requirement, you have to inform them. So that is information passing to the customer. It could be through email, but see to it that you are not making a random phone call, because on the phone call, he may not be very conversant, or he may not be in a state of mind where he is giving, best answer to you. So it is better that you are writing an email to him with whatever defect is there. So when this email goes, generally what you are asking is for the authorization, that is obtaining authorization for acceptance under concession. So you are expecting a concession from the client that even if the goods are not having 12-inch length, it is having 11.6-inch length. Can you accept this for this time? Right? If that is the thing, and if the customer accepts, well, nothing like it, and you can ship it as a contained product with a specific label mentioning that this is a contained product after the authorization and acceptance under concession. If the customer says, no, we would not like to pick up goods which are 11.6 inches in length, we want it 12 inches, in that case, what to do? You can go to any other customer where you are sure that your product, which is non-conforming product for one client, can be an accepting product for another client. So you have to find out any customer and just let off these products, maybe at a concessional rate, and maybe only one time. It is not a generalized process that every time you manufacture something which is non-conforming and then you are selling it to another client. No, not kind of that. So if that is the thing, let's change the customer. So you are reducing your losses by doing this. So after everything is done, which is mentioned over here, A, B, C, and D, we will go further. Now you have to document the product and service non-conformity. Okay, before that, let us go back and also mention one scenario of a service non-conformity. Let's say you are um, air condition maintenance firm. So your product or service is, your people are going at a customer's place and they are servicing the air conditioners, right? So a general process or a set is, a call comes at your place where the query or the issue of AC not working at a client place is mentioned. A specific person is allotted that call, and one person is going on that call with the toolkit and everything. After his work is done and the AC is started running, he comes back and he gives his report to his senior. Then the customer service person is calling the client again and asking for a feedback. And in that feedback, if the client mentions something which is not as per the set process of service at a client's place, then this kind of thing can be termed as a non-conformity of service or a service non-conformity, right? In that case also the same thing. First few points can be applied, which is correction. So if after doing the activity there or the repair there, if at all his AC is still not working, then you can follow a correction route where your person is going at his place again without any cost and doing minimum thing which is required to repair. If there is a part change, naturally, if different kind of things will come under consideration, that whether it is under AMC or not, whether it is under warranty guarantee or not. So that is a part, but you will have to send one person at his place and let the AC work for him, which is correction of a service non-conformity. Secondly, you will not be able to segregate because services may, this point does not apply. Containment, no, this point does not apply. A return or suspension of provision of products and services, no, this point does not apply. So B point does not apply to service non-conformity, right? Thirdly, informing the customer. It is no point in informing the customer because customer himself has called you to tell you that whatever your person has done at his place, now again the AC is not working. So in this case, a C point is also not applicable. Fourth point, which is obtaining authorization for acceptance under consideration No, in a service non-conformity, none of the client will accept that even if it is repaired, the AC is not working, and still he is paying you. So it is not possible. So point B, C, and D are not possible in service non-conformity. Only correction is possible, right? That means at your own cost, your service engineer is again going at his place and doing whatever is appropriate. So these are the two scenarios of product and service non-conformity. Now let us see how to close a product or service non-conformity. Now, a product or service non-conformity is first to be registered. That means there should be a central register which is kept in the production department or in a quality control department, where product non-conformity is mentioned with all the details of the product and the defect. So it needs to get registered, and whatever actions you have done in from the previous slide, action A, B, C, D, that also needs to be written as a correction of that, you know non-conformity. Secondly, if you don't have register, and if you have a software on which you are entering all the details, these details should be entered with the client's details as well in the non-conformity register, which is a soft copy. Secondly, if there is a product non-conformity or if there is a service non-conformity, approval signatures or software approvals by a senior for redoing things or correcting the things should be approved, and that should be clearly mentioned, or the signature should be there on the non-conformity register by a senior. And lastly, we have to write CAR report, corrective action report. Now, whatever is mentioned as A, B, C, D in the previous slide are all corrections. Let me tell you, are all corrections. So you are just closing the non-conformity. In the next slide, we will also see how to close a non-conformity with corrective action. Now, corrective action is you have to define the root causes and then take action on the root causes so that a corrective action can be applied. So that's about a document, or how to keep a document for product and service non-conformity. How to close a non-conformity with corrective action. I will be uploading another video on the closure of non-conformity for corrective action. But this is a very crucial thing, and the requirement of documentation is mandatory for ISO 9001 2015. So this is the first mandatory document which needs to be kept as far whenever you are implementing ISO 9001 2015. If you have liked this video, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and see all the videos which are uploaded uh, you know time after time, and also press the bell icon so that whenever I am uploading a new video, you will get a notification and you will not miss any important thing while implementing ISO 9001. So I am stopping the share, and thank you very much for your time. I am very glad that I am doing this activity free of cost. You will not have any concern when in terms of knowledge and sharing what I have in terms of ISO 9001 2015. If you have any queries, any questions, anything which you want me to prepare a video for, you can let me know in the comments. Your comments are very much valuable. Thank you very much.